Starbucks is retooling the barista's hiring process as its transformation continues. According to MSN, Starbucks Corporation has increased the level of screening of external applications for the chain's new baristas. The screening process now includes being reviewed by district managers in addition to the manager of the store where they're applying, sources tipped Bloomberg. District managers were noted to normally oversee about 10 locations that were not previously part of the hiring process for each store. The change coincides with an effort by Starbucks chief executive officer Brian Niccol to increase staffing at the coffee chain in a reversal of past years when the average number of workers at stores was reduced. Notably, Starbucks has said that nearly all of its more than 10,000 company operated locations in the US will have more workers by the end of September. Chris, you may have realized from its absence thus far, but this is also the A&M put you on the spot question. Here it is.
Okay.
What could be confused as a small internal process change for Starbucks seems to be indicative of larger strategic shifts back toward experience as a differentiator. As Starbucks loyalists, do you think an elevated front-end hiring profile is necessary? Think enterprise versus Hertz. Or is delivering an under 4-minute wait time and your name and a fanciful phrase written on your cup enough?
Oh man, that's a good question, and there's a lot of layers to that question. And I know you and I disagree on the elevated experience versus throughput argument. But with that said, like just this week, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, the low price chain out of China, Luckin, just entered the market in New York. So Starbucks, in my mind, I have no idea how formidable that's going to be, but it's a huge chain in China. So Starbucks, in my mind, has to differentiate on something other than throughput, because even throughput, in my latest Starbucks experience, is questionable. They're not doing that well. Like I went in there the other day, there were 30 drinks on the counter waiting for pickup. So something's still not working right. So, with this headline, Niccol, he clearly seems to be sending a message to field leadership that you are accountable for hiring culture and attitude, which is also something that in my recent experiences has been missing. I'll say that point blank. But my fear is, because I lived through this same type of edict at Target back when I was in stores, we were told we had to interview 3 levels down as district leaders.
What?
And interviewing, yeah, we did. So we had to interview all store managers, all levels below store manager, and every level below them.
Store managers make sense, but every a cashier, you have to. I mean,
no, it wasn't a cashier. So I had to interview store managers, what's called executive team leaders, which is kind of assistant manager, and then the team leader, which is an hourly. So the two were salaried, and then I had to interview the team leaders as well.
Okay.
So, and as a district manager, this is your most important job, is hiring.
Yes.
So I don't know how many levels down they're actually having to interview, but if it is 3 levels, it gets really unsustainable really fast. But it does send a message. But the issue for me is that the baristas at the end of the day just seem too overworked to be keeping up with mobile orders. So you can hire happy, fun, outgoing people, but days upon days of drowning from the morning pickup rush wipes the smiles off everyone's face really fast. So the problem is actually, at the end of the day, throughput first, then service. You have to solve one before the other, which it appears Niccol is trying to but it doesn't appear he's trying to do that. So he might not ultimately accomplish anything. That's at least my fear anyway. Like, you're putting so much emphasis on the in-store experience, but you can't get it back until you solve the amount of demand coming through the box.
Right. I completely agree. I mean, this got me thinking about, number one, what you just said. Like, you have to get throughput right. You have to be able to make those coffees. To answer A&M's question, you have to be able to get me the coffee in 4 minutes or less, or I'm not going to, period. It doesn't matter how many locations. And I don't care about the experience. I'm more about, does my coffee taste the same, how I want it every single time, and how quickly can I get in and out, because I'm not going there for the experience. But that leads me to think about Chick-fil-A. You think about your Chick-fil-A experience. You pull up, you have a really pleasant interaction with somebody who helps you with your order. And I never see the chicken sandwiches being made, because they're handed out to me, either in the drive-thru or somebody walks it out to me. Those are the interactions at the front and back end of the experience that are meaningful to me. If they were making everything by robot inside, it wouldn't make a bit of difference to me, as long as the order is consistent. And I think that's what Starbucks needs to think about here. are you able to have the automation down so that your role for the humans in your experience is just for that interaction, for making sure that they put your order in correctly, that you're going to get that consistency that you're looking for every time? And bringing more people in power into this just doesn't seem to me like it's going to fix the problem. It's got to be automation first, I think, and then working on, sure, how do you make sure that you're bringing in people that are going to liven people's day and create that experience?
Well, I would go a little bit further. I don't even know if it's automation per se, but it's operational design change, like, because we've talked about how much can you automate the coffee production process. I think there are limits to that and in the food production process too. But like when I start hearing you talk, like the issue could be like how the stores are laid out. How much is
Mm-hmm.
front of house versus how much is back of house? Your point about Chick-fil-A. How much do you need to see the coffee being made versus like your grande Americano or your tall latte just comes out a door and it's ready for you and waiting in a very easily findable slot,
Yeah.
versus now like I have to search through 30 different cups to even know if mine's there. And then I'm like, I found one, but I didn't find the other. And I don't know, did you make mine? Or am I still waiting for it? I don't know who to ask. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So like, but when I think about it like that, Ann, I think the challenge is if that's what it's going to take, the challenges in some ways seem insurmountable from an operational design perspective. And you just throw people at this like he's doing, or you throw an emphasis on culture, you're just going to piss people off in the long run. And you're going to dissatisfy a lot more workers because they're never going to meet your standards, right? I mean,
Especially a district
that's the rub
manager.
here.
Like, why are you putting the district manager towards this? Like, that to me tells me as a store
There's an
manager that
issue
you
somewhere
don't,
else.
yeah, like, and then you're
Mhm.
taking these people who are so valuable to innovation, understanding the whole like landscape of stores and what's going on in each one and how you can make improvements to processes across a multitude of stores. Like, let your store managers who live and work in the community, let them figure out like what the vibe is and what the people are like that should be coming into their stores. This feels like very short-sighted leadership. So
Yeah,
not
that was always my pushback at Target too. I was like, I hire the people to hire the people that they
right,
need. And if they're not doing that, then I'm going to get rid of those people. I
right.
shouldn't have to be involved in double checking their hiring process, which
Yeah.
is that's why this gets a little frustrating for me too. Like I just don't like that either, but anyway.